Hello, hello mga kapitbahay. Good evening to you all. It's a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. And am I clipping? I don't think so. There we go. Yeah, and I hope you guys are all having a wonderful evening. I hope nakakain na kayo because I am very hungry right now for knowledge to learn from our guest speaker. So introduce ko na siya. By the way, my name is Dave, and our guest for today is a voice actor who has been in the business for 30 years. That is a lot of experience. He gets a thrill sharing with his colleagues the art and craft of voice acting and is always thirsty to learn ways to be better at it himself. So, thirsty. There's an analogy there. He loves movies and television, discovering delicious gastronomic experiences, and traveling. And he is also the voice of Cinema One. Kapitbahays, please help me welcome our guest for this evening, Zan Yu. Coach Zan Yu, welcome, Zan. We're supposed to be
Just kidding. Just kidding. Hi, Dave. Great
There
to
we
be here.
go. Welcome, Zan. So good to see you.
Am I too loud, or is it just my
No.
shirt?
No,
Is it
it's just your shirt. I love it. God, it feels very Hawaii. Are you in vacation mode right now?
Pinag-usapan namin ni Dave.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I love to travel, and I wish I were on vacation. My mind, tends to drift off
Yes.
into vacation.
I
And
feel you.
hence the choice of wardrobe.
I feel you. And I know that you don't like drifting that much. So let's get straight to what we had in mind, which is your voiceover origin story. Let's hear it.
Okay. Quick. Let me try to sum it up as quickly as possible. I got into DJing when I was around a little just before I turned 19, back in 1989, when I got into radio in our hometown radio station back in Pampanga in Angeles City called GV 99.1. So my first professional type of voice work was DJing on radio. And with that, of course, you're expected to do some VO work in when commercials come in, when there are orders for commercials. I would write up scripts, and sometimes I would be asked to do the voiceover for them. But I didn't think much of it then. I was more into doing the radio thing. When I really got into the business seriously, because I was getting paid separately for it, and not just for my working in the radio station, was back in 1992, when a very good friend of mine, Dada Carlos, who I worked with at the now defunct 99.5 RT station back in when it was still in Makati, she was kind enough to refer me to a friend of hers who was a producer, who was a commercial producer. She was looking for, I believe she was at the time looking for a new voice, and that was similar to my vocal range. And she asked if I wanted to try out. The producer got in touch with me, told me Dada referred me, and the rest is voiceover history for me. And that was my first commercial back then. Was I don't know if they still sell it nowadays. I haven't noticed. Guard shampoo. If I recall correctly, it's an anti-dandruff shampoo. Although I think, that kind of gives away my age. That's how old I am when you start mentioning products that aren't sold anymore. Yeah, Guard shampoo.
This isn't Safeguard, is it?
No.
That is a completely separate product.
Yeah,
okay.
Shampooing with Safeguard, that's a different origin story altogether.
Right.
Yeah,
well, guys,
during leaner times.
Yes. Guys, I'm sure you have a lot of questions for Coach Zan. So what we're going to do after the podcast section is that we can do a Q&A. So leave all your comments down below, all your questions. Coach Zan has 30 years of experience to share with you, and we're very excited for that. All right. Well, let's get to another juicy question now that we know your origin story and that you have your VO superpowers. What is your dream voice acting role?
I guess, so many came to mind when you first mentioned that this would be one of the questions you'd ask me. But to sum it all up, I guess, and to give in to the fanboy, the lifelong fanboy in me, I've been Star Wars fanboy for so long, for that I can't even remember anymore, because yeah, I've been around that long.
Yes.
And from the very first Star Wars movie back in 1977, and I would just be too happy to voice a character on Star Wars.
Ah,
I don't need an on-screen acting role. I just want to voice one of the characters and get to say, "That's me. I'm in Star Wars, man. I'm in the Star Wars universe."
oh my
There.
goodness. You could be like
That's what I like.
the Filipino James Earl Jones, like the Filipino Darth Vader. Oh.
Well, that's the that's the gold standard.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate dream. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the iconic, irreplaceable voice of
e
Darth Vader, James Earl
exactly.
Jones, the great
Yes.
James Earl Jones.
I'd love to hear you do like the "I am your father." No
Oh, okay,
pressure.
okay. I was thinking, okay, the hard breathing part is the easy part. Luke.
There we go. You don't even need a modulator, like, you are the modulator. Oh, man, yeah, that would be a dream role, and it has just
Yeah.
been May the 4th, right? May the 4th be with
Yeah, yeah. It was just yeah, May the
Yes,
4th. Star
yes.
Wars Day for a lot of for people
Star Wars
who were
Day.
wondering why people were posting Star Wars whatnot memes and
Yes,
all back in last May 4th. So belated happy Star
exactly.
Wars Day. May the 4th be with you to all the Star Wars fans.
May the 4th to all of you, and also, it was also Robbie Joseph's birthday,
Oh
so
yes, yes,
happy
yes.
birthday to our friend,
Yeah,
Robbie
yeah. Our
Joseph, founder
friend
of Oak
and the
Lions.
mhm.
Yes. Oh, so that is excellent. That is a dream role, and I'm looking forward to seeing you back. Um, but this is a question that I like to ask a lot of voice actors, because normally we are asked like people tell us, "Oh, Zan, you're so talented. You're so but me deep when people ask me that, I'm like, "But I just had training." You know? So I wanted to ask you, what do you think is more responsible for your ability to voice act, your genetics or your upbringing and training?
Good question. It's a bit of a tough question. Um, when I was starting out, I would have probably simply answered, "Oh, because I was blessed with this voice." I
Yes.
I thank the heavens, the Lord above, and the heavens, and the universe, my parents, my ancestors, and the universe. That's the order I wanted to put it in, for this. For what I have, for what I was born with, and what I grew up having, when my voice broke, when puberty hit, is like, where did this come from? This is cool,
I
you
think you
know.
had puberty 3 times.
Yeah, it started when I was 5, actually.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, wow.
hey
Yeah.
mom,
Mine
I
hasn't
want some
even started
cookies.
yet. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
don't worry, Dave. We're still waiting with bated breath. We're gonna hold a big party when it
Yeah,
happens.
still waiting for puberty. Yeah. Right. Okay.
But I would so, but now in retrospect, after all this time being in the business and looking back on it, because I I wish I had more training back then, more uh, the opportunities to have or to partake of the kind of training that is being offered even through the internet. I mean, you can get yourself training online, and
Yes.
and then you'll be so much the better for it, compared to me back then. I was simply reliant on feedback I would get from directors, and there, like I've mentioned before, um, here on Voice Actors at Home PH, that it's not their job to teach you. They're just there to. They give the directions literally, because they're the director, and they just want to get what they're paying for. They're waiting for the
Yes.
product, for you to produce the finished product, not for you to learn it on the spot. So I would have to say
Exactly.
genetics gets you in the door. That's great if you're blessed. And nowadays, looking at it, you don't have to have the so-called, because it's subjective, the so-called golden voice or whatnot. I
Right.
mean, you're blessed with what you're blessed with. If you use it right, there is always going to be a role for you in the business. So genetics only gets you in through the door, gets you in the door, gets you noticed, gets people turning their
Hmm.
heads. Hey, where's that coming from? Who's
Right.
that voice? Hey, do you do voiceovers? Yeah,
Right.
we have this
Right.
company that does, you, there could be serendipitous moments like that. But I strongly believe that there should be a lot of training and polishing involved along the
Absolutely.
way. Yeah.
I love that answer. It's so validating. Yeah, because I don't consider myself very talented and had to go through quite a
Oh,
lot,
come on. You're too,
right?
yeah, yeah. You're
I
too
really I really
humble,
I really don't think so.
too
Like, if I
modest.
were to be reborn with a voice, I would pick yours. Like, yours would be, like, in the top 5 for sure. Definitely, like, I wanna be able to do that kind of a deep trailer voice. Yeah, about, with all
Thank you.
these
You're too
things that
kind. Hmm.
yeah, with all the things that we were reflecting about, you
Right.
mentioned, like, the directors and how they gave you guidance. Um, I'm wondering, was there ever a time that you felt that you could have done so much better for a voice acting project, and what would you have done better?
So yeah, so that's a continuation of my, I believe, not necessarily lack of experience, the lack of training would always lead me to, like, coming out of a voiceover job, say for doing a commercial or maybe doing some narration, some long form narration. I would always end up going. I would be in the car going, "Oh, I should have done it that way. Oh, I should have put the stress on
Right.
this word. I should have said it this way." And I'm saying it in my, no, I'm not. I'm saying it aloud in the car to myself. Darn it. Why didn't the director ask me to do that? Or why didn't I volunteer? Because every so often, like every other or every third producer or director will always ask at the, okay, they ask you to do 8, 9 takes.
Right,
Then some
right.
of them are kind enough to ask, what about you, Zahn? Do you have any? Do you have a different idea? Do you have a different approach or different attack? I try
Mhm.
to. It's then for some reason it's not. It wouldn't always be that different
Right.
or radically different. Sometimes you get the opportunity to do something that they haven't thought of, but for some reason they kept coming to me in the car on my way
Right.
coming from the job.
In retrospect, yeah.
Yeah, in retrospect, yeah. But
Yeah.
nowadays though, thanks to the experience plus the extra training that I've gotten for myself along the way the last few years, the last 2 or 3 years, I now try to think of it before. Try to think of such things if I have an opportunity, like I've been given a brief or I've been given the script. Sometimes they're kind enough to let you see the script before you go to the studio, and then I kind of run it through my head already and say it
Ah,
aloud in the car on my way,
yes.
and try to see if that's going to be similar to what they have in mind.
Yeah, I know, I feel you. That's smart really though, like, planning it in advance
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that really is something that sets us apart for
Hmm.
the audition, for the
Hmm.
lines. Not a
Yeah,
lot of voice actors do that, but it really
yeah.
should be, best practice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you don't always have, say, like actors shooting a movie or a TV show. You get a bit of rehearsal. You get, at the very least, you get the table read, so the director and all the cast, they get comfortable with what the people's lines are going to sound like,
Right.
they get comfortable with the script, and maybe if there's a little physical interaction that's a little nuanced, they get some time to physically rehearse before they actually roll. But in voiceover, you don't get that much
Yeah.
opportunity. You kind of, while the engineer's checking the levels and you're reading the script in front of you, that's the most rehearsal you're going to get. You're
That
going to get
is
one
the most
one or two
rehearsal.
takes, and then you get to, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and especially with dubbing, you just like there was a time that I had a character that
Uh-huh.
died then and there, and I'm like, "What? My character died?"
Yeah, yeah. You don't all, yeah, yeah. Back then, you see, when you sit in the session, that's the first time you're seeing the script.
Yeah, it's like you're
That's the first time you're
watching.
seeing what's
Yes,
what's going on.
exactly, like Netflix and getting paid to perform while watching it. Yeah. Well, speaking of these experiences, I do wonder, like as the voice of Cinema One, I'm sure people keep dropping that like quite often when they see like, oh, he's the voice of Cinema One, you know. So how do you handle that? How do you handle the fame of being the
Um,
voice of Cinema One?
um, you know, I let the bodyguards take care of the crowd. The kidding aside, very much kidding, very much kidding. Okay.
Where are they?
Uh,
That guy's pretty tall, huh? Oh, oh man. Remind me not to get close to you.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I've always just I of course when you're a lot younger and when you're starting out. When I started out getting the first, especially when I first got my first gig as a TV promo voiceover, you know, there of course, you know, understandably human nature. You get you ride the ego trip that goes with it.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
yeah, this is such a cool job. You know, they give
Yeah.
me a sheet of paper. I say all these things. Oh, my voice is on TV. My mom, you know, she's very proud of her boy, you know, for that
Moms.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but I've never thought of, yeah, but nowadays and the last 10 years or so, especially since I've been doing it for a while, I don't think of it. I don't think of any sort of fame attached to it. I like to think more of, I'm always thinking about how can I do it better. Yeah,
Right.
both with the both performance wise in my delivery when I and you know being someone who dabbles in the technology of the engineering side of recording as well, trying to do better,
Mhm.
be able to deliver a technically better
Yes.
recording as well. Yeah, so that's
Right.
more of what I'm preoccupied with.
So every aspect.
Yeah,
Well,
so if someone brings it up or they find out that that's me, they go, "Oh, ikaw yun?" Being a sample naman, oh, you know. So you go, you just ride that out with a smile, and if they give you
yeah.
compliments, you just yeah, you humbly take it. And I always believe that people are very kind, are always too kind when if they think that I happen to sound good, and I'm only too happy, you know, that they think so.
Yeah. I mean, you're only getting paid, you know, a certain amount for what you do, you know. But yeah, that humility is remarkable. Thank you for
Thank you.
sharing that, and I think it's worth emulating. Yes. Now, with that humility, well, let's see how far you can go with that humility. If you
Oh,
had to
okay.
change, yeah. So given that you have a golden voice, we're just assuming it as truth now. Like, if you had to change your voice into any voice, whose voice or what kind of voice would it be? And no pressure to like, you know, twist your answer. Like, just be honest. Like, yeah,
I
this is
think
my
this would,
voice.
yeah, I think this would, you know, go back to my dream role. I wish I could have been James Earl Jones, or I wish
Huh.
I could have had James Earl Jones' voice. Yeah, or even to just be James Earl Jones at the time, because it's a great story. Because
It is. It
yeah,
is.
you
Right.
know, when you think about it, because I've watched the people, the crew, the guys from the crew and the producers talk about how the actor, God rest his soul, the late David Prowse, the actor who was actually inside the Darth Vader suit,
David Prowse.
when
Yeah.
they heard him speak, they were going like, uh, not scary at all, man. So George Lucas, you know, scratched his head and was like, uh, okay, what are we gonna do? Or okay, let's hire this guy.
Right.
Hey,
Right.
or let's look for someone who can scare people when he talks while looking like that. And that's how they found James Earl Jones. And it's so funny that he originally didn't get credit. First time the movie was shown, there's no credit
Mm,
of the voice. It's just
that's
David Prowse as Darth
ah,
Vader.
my heart. Ah.
But but of course, nowadays, Mr.
Yeah.
Jones is only too happy to have been, to be remembered as
Right.
such. Yeah. So if
Exactly.
I could, yeah, have his voice,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that would
All
be it.
right. Yeah, and I think they're preserving his voice via AI, but that's for another
Yeah,
day.
they have not officially confirmed that.
Oh,
There's
really?
a lot of
Oh,
talk,
okay.
a lot of talk. Well,
Okay.
the company that is supposedly processing his voice refuses to neither confirms nor denies
Interesting.
anything. Yeah,
Ah.
but people have said yeah, enough people articles have been written saying that James already gave his consent and signed his voiced into
Ooh.
perpetuity for Darth Vader.
So I guess
And
we're gonna hear him as Darth Vader forever. I-
forever, yeah, for
Interesting.
generations
For
to
generations to
come.
come.
Yeah,
That is fascinating.
till probably till yeah till humans can actually fly out into space and
And when pigs
on a
actually
whim
fly.
and
Yeah.
yeah,
Right?
exactly, yeah.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. Pigs flying. That's like so Guardians of the Galaxy. Thanks for the recommendation, Robbie. Um, but yeah, well, you're definitely showing how your nice side. You're very humble, and we appreciate that kindness. You're like the nice coach, but are you? So the question here is, as a voice
Okay.
acting as a voice acting coach, do you prefer to motivate your students through rewards or through tough love?
Hmm. I think yeah, rewards works better for me. Before I
Hmm.
became a voiceover coach, I also had experience teaching in college, and being the tough, terroristic type of teacher
Ah,
is never is not was never effective for me. Meaning,
right,
I've never
right.
responded to that kind of teacher.
True,
You
true.
sure you get scared and you get pressured. Oh, okay, I'll get it done already. Okay, just don't yell at me. Yeah, but I don't want to do that. Yeah, I prefer to just uh, not necessarily make it easy, but to find a better way. A better way to motivate a student. Yeah, because I
Love
always
that.
think yeah to try to be more creative in motivating a student. Yeah,
Yeah.
to help them realize perhaps if they keep making the same mistake, just help them hear it, because the thing is when you're a voiceover, you don't necessarily hear your mistakes. The person listening is going to hear it, so that's why you gotta give that kind of constructive feedback, yeah, constructive
Right.
criticism.
But yeah, constructive, not destructive.
Yes, yeah, not
Yeah.
destructive. Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, exactly. Well, love to hear that. Well, looking at your Hawaii coach, your vacation mode, your shirt, whatever
Hmm.
you call it, your polo right now. You recently told us that last week you juggled 8 dubbing projects. Well, do you mind telling us? I was doing my math earlier, but my math is just should have
Uh-huh.
taken a different course, But do you mind telling us about your age and how you can stay so energetic?
I'm
Like 8 dubbing sessions, right,
Yeah,
in a week.
I'm still yeah, I think my vocal folds are complaining
Yeah.
still complaining and threatening to go on strike for doing that. And the funny thing is this week it's nine projects, it's 9 sessions this week, so I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
doing. That must be nuts. Yeah, you get a text going, "Hey, we got this new project. Are you in?" Then you check your bank account and go, "Oh yeah, sure, I'm in."
Ah.
I don't know if I can actually make it, but yeah.
That's how you sound already when you're
Yeah,
responding.
so there's this comment going, "A dubbing project sounds like a problem I'd like to have."
Right.
No, I don't mind saying that I'm 53 years old.
53.
Yeah, and I just generally being able to have the energy or the stamina to do it. You just got to try to keep yourself healthy, because that's the thing with our business. It's physical work.
It is, it is.
It's physical labor.
Oh my goodness,
So
it is.
if you're tired, if you're unhealthy, if you've got an unhealthy lifestyle, if you've got a lot of physical vices, you smoke and drink a lot, you're simply uh I don't know, you're simply begging for a quick way, a quick way out of the business. That's what I think. So keeping yourself healthy, getting enough sleep, there Yeah, it's quite a
Yeah.
lot.
Sleep.
As many voice actors, especially in the dubbing business, like myself, will tell you. Yeah, sleep is a big luxury. So that's why weekends are precious when you get to sleep in and go.
That's
Oh, what
true.
time is it? 10 a.m. Okay,
Ah.
I'll think I'll sleep in a little longer. So there, I think
Ah.
it's just generally trying to be as healthy as possible. Otherwise, yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's you versus your body. The fatigue,
Exactly.
when the fatigue will set in, no matter how much willpower you think you still have,
That's true. That's
your
true.
vocal folds will start to collapse on you, and
That's true.
your tongue will refuse to enunciate
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
words properly.
Yeah. And you'll
Yeah.
you'll stop comprehending the words.
Yeah, you won't even understand, well, what the heck's going on. You'll start saying phrases that's gonna have the engineer and the director,
Gotcha.
rolling over with laughter, go like, "What did you say?" Like, dude, did you just say? And you start saying the wrong words.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
No, no, and I felt that recently, like, even,
Mm,
like, right now I'm 30, so that gives me hope. I have a few more decades ahead of me, and looking forward to that. Yeah, but
yeah.
no, like,
Compared
even
to
at
me,
this
yeah, you're still a kid, so don't sweat it.
yeah, I haven't reached puberty yet. Yeah, yeah. No, so at this point, yeah, I mean, like, a kid, but, before I could do, like, all the way up to 5 a.m., but, like, I did consistent 1 a.m.s, 3 days in a row, lately, and I got sick before that because I was gonna go
Hmm.
to Zamboanga with my wife's family, for
Hmm.
her dad's clan, and I thought, I gotta do all my work before going on vacation so they don't nag me, and when I tried to do that, like, I got sick on her birthday, and I'm like,
Ah,
"Oh,
yeah,
like,
I've
this
been
is the
there.
worst." Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there. That you just when you say yes to too
Ah,
many things and
yes.
you spread yourself thin. Although
Ah,
I'm kind of feeling that this week, so I'm trying to pace myself because
yes.
because of our situation with
Yes.
and the risk of getting COVID, that's so
Yes.
high, and the kind of weather we're going through with this blistering summer heat. Yeah, you really can't. It's really not a good idea to push yourself too hard, even though you think you can get away with it. And not
Right.
just because, and I'm not just saying this as an older person. I wish I could have given myself the same advice, like when I was 30. Okay, come on, that to keep myself. I wish I could have told, my 30-year-old self now, hey man, eat healthier, get more exercise, get more sleep, so I don't have to work so I don't have to work so hard to be healthy. It'll
Oh,
be easier
goodness.
for me 20, 30 years
Oh.
from now.
Oh, well, if we look at our, pictures right now, I could be actually you because 'cause I'm wearing red. Like, "Hey, future me." Like, I'm working out right now, I mean, I'm staying up all the
Good.
way up to 5 a.m., and doing all these
Wow.
voice acting
Dude,
projects.
come
It's
on.
awesome.
Dude,
Yeah.
the money is not worth it. Come on.
Really?
I'm gonna reach over there and smack you silly so to
Oh,
force you to go to sleep. Come on.
but the
Gets
money!
No, the
Oh.
money will always come.
Oh,
Your
come
health
on.
and your time won't
Oh,
come back to you. You know,
really?
you pay you in a bad way. You pay for that in you literally pay for that in
Uh,
spades when you start getting sick. Getting sick is hell can be
huh.
hell expensive. Come
I
on,
never thought of it that way. Thank you, future self.
especially here in the future, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, what's the future like? Are there
and
flying cars?
go. We're getting there.
That's
We got the
disappointing.
flying pig. We got the flying pigs.
Flying pigs. Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
and make sure you buy Apple stock. Okay, buy stock in Apple
Yeah, right. Yeah,
so you can
buy
make me rich.
buy Apple stock so I can make myself rich. Oh, okay. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for that advice. We all need to hear it. Well, speaking of rest, we were talking about all the busy stuff. Um, let's talk about vacation. You told me once
Mm.
about your anniversary with your wife in
Oh
Tokyo,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So how did that go? And how do you make time for your family amidst your busy schedule?
So there, that can also be very tricky. I mean, I'll be honest, I've gotten to the point. Yeah, my wife, God bless her heart, she would come down hard on me, saying, "Hey, we don't see you anymore. You know, we don't even get to talk to you anymore. You come home, you're tired, and you eat a
Yeah.
bit, have a drink, and sleep." So yeah, the thing is, it's not about it's not it's not all it can't always be. Finding time is great when, say, your schedule frees up or there's a holiday, but if you don't make the time
Right.
will never materialize. That's why that goes back to my saying, you know, after a while you'll realize the money will always come. There will always be
Right.
opportunities, even if you say no to the project
Yes.
that just lit up your phone, that just blew up your phone, that's blowing up on your phone right
Absolutely.
now, that you just,
Yeah.
yeah, that this director is saying, "Hey, you know, we got this big project and everything. Come on, let's. I'm gonna put you in the group chat already. Okay, we're gonna start tomorrow. Okay, you're gonna fit this in. You can do this. You can do this." And if you're already just spreading yourself thin, you got to find the line, draw the line, find a point where you say, "Sorry, no, I can't." And
That's true.
I always tell someone that a director or producer that I have to say no to. I'm already spreading myself too thin, and I want to be able to do justice to your project. I don't want to sound
Right.
tired.
That's true.
I don't want to sound tired. I don't want to sound sick. You deserve a voice that is really going to help communicate whatever it is that what your commercial or what your project or even what your dubbing project, your characters
Yeah.
need to sound like. You know, I don't want to sell myself short, and I don't want to you know deliver a half baked performance.
That's
So
true.
with that, you got to learn to say no, and you got to make the time to be with your family. In my case, like going on vacation abroad and celebrating an anniversary, my wife, that involved about 2 months of not doing anything else. Well,
Wow.
of course, that involved enough practical, pragmatic financial planning, meaning, okay, I can set aside this amount of money
Right.
and that to spend here to be able to spend on this vacation, have the most fun that we can have without scrimping too much, so we can enjoy
True.
where we are, enjoy what the country has to offer. Like in this case, it was Tokyo, what the great city of Tokyo had to offer, and at the same time, I didn't have to worry too much about not having any money to
Right. Right.
to pay the bills when I got home. So
Great
it required,
budgeting. Yeah.
yeah, it required. So it doesn't always happen, but when you can afford to, I highly recommend it. You go for it. That's where you make the kind of memories that are worthwhile, because
Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
don't and as much as I love my job, and I'm sure we all and I'm sure you do, Dave, and I'm sure we all love what we do in voiceover, the opportunities, the creativity that we are exposed to, that we get to be part of.
Right.
But you're not going to necessarily want to get old thinking, I wish I spent more time in front of the microphone.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd spent enough time reading a sheet of paper or looking at these words on my monitor and
Absolutely.
recording. Now, you're going to
Yeah.
wish you were spending more time with your loved one, that you had spent more time with your loved ones. And, you know,
Yeah.
that's what makes it worthwhile. Yeah. So now my incentive is kind of, okay, I'm going to hustle like crazy as much as I can while watching my health, so I can afford to go on vacation again, like for a couple of months if I can. Yeah.
Like, Zan, I have like this crazy question for you. Like, if I
Uh,
spend more time with my family, do you think I'll actually hit puberty? If I spend more time with my family? Nah, just
yes, I think so.
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's very encouraging.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
Well, speaking of budgets, well, do you have some kind of voice acting retirement plan?
Ah, that's a good question. And be honest enough to say no, I did not for the better part of my voice acting career. And that's what I would be telling you, 30-year-old
Oh,
me in the past.
okay.
Save your money and invest
Save
it.
and
Okay, save it.
invest it.
Don't well,
Okay.
you can buy a few toys here and there, but
A few
don't
toys.
don't spend it
Right.
all. Don't
Ah.
spend it all in one place. Yeah,
Oh, you mean I can't
yeah.
buy that Ferrari that I've been saving up for? Oh man, what a bummer. Ah,
Yeah, save it for when you're 60. Yeah, then you go get the Ferrari.
then I get the Ferrari. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Um yeah, I'll be honest and said no, yeah, there was no retirement plan, and I've gotten to that age where I have to think about it. So, yeah, I've tried to be a little more careful with the money, and I've been trying to invest it while I still have time to, and hopefully it grows into something that I could comfortably retire with. But I would suggest to anyone in this business, and I would highly recommend that if you can if you at least don't have, say, a another profession that you can fall back on, or if you have, then maybe keep doing that on the side,
Right.
assuming you don't hate it or anything, because there are some people, oh, my parents made me become a doctor, even though
Ah.
I can't stand the sight of blood, so I'm gonna just be a voice actor. You know, there may be one out of a few thousand people who are just like that. But if you got the degree anyway, it's still worth keeping.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
if otherwise, if you're business savvy, if you can have a business that's not necessarily voiceover related, then do explore that as well. Try to have a don't put the proverbial, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
Don't try to diversify your sources of income. I think
Yes.
that's ultimately that's the best way to save up or head towards your eventual retirement. I mean, it's great
Right.
because
Right.
there are a lot of voice actors who are still going at it. Our
Oh
very good
yeah.
friend Alan Milford Vanek, he's in his late 70s, if I'm not mistaken,
Right.
but you wouldn't be able to tell from the way he sounds, and he still very
Nah.
much enjoys the grind of voiceover. Not necessarily that, I don't necessarily mean that it's a hard labor in that sense when I use the word grind, but he just still loves the job. He still loves going for it. But if you're neither that, you don't have a profession, you're not inclined to be an entrepreneur, maybe you can talk to a financial advisor and see how you can grow your money
Right.
while you're still young, and while you still have a lot of opportunities to make the money. Yeah. So there you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely something to consider
Yeah.
early on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just want to take this time to remind everyone that if you have questions for Coach San, leave them in the comments down below. We will have a look at them for the Q&A session later, right? And don't forget that you can book Coach Zan as a coach yourself. He gives a free 15-minute discovery call. Just go to voiceactorsathome.ph/coaching and you'll find him there. Awesome. Well, we've been hearing about your voiceover life, and I am personally curious. If you could make a YouTube channel about like any topic under the sun that isn't voiceover related,
Uh-huh.
what would it be about?
Oh, okay, good one. Yeah, as you'll notice, there's a bit of a there's a what's a best good way to describe it? Yeah, there's an ongoing theme, or as
There's a
far as
theme. Yeah.
there's a predictable theme as far as I'm concerned.
Hmm.
I would probably be unboxing Star Wars figures
Oh,
because I collect them.
wow.
That's one of the thing
Ah.
where I, as my wife might say, I'm spending too much money on. So
Oh, wow.
might as well make something out of it, and
Yeah, that's true.
unboxing Star Wars figures, or maybe watches, because that's also one of the things I'm very much
Oh, goodness.
interested in. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So are you like a Swiss guy or a Japanese guy?
I'm more of a Seiko guy. Yeah,
Seiko guy.
yeah, I'm a
Yes,
Seiko
Team
guy.
Seiko.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Mm.
That
Yeah,
was
so that's
my
yeah,
yeah.
that would make a for a fun YouTube, at least for the video making part would be fun for
That
me.
would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
that would be excellent. I used to I used to sell watches myself. Like,
Oh, cool,
yeah, like I made
awesome.
this Facebook page and I called it "Time Will Sell," whatever that means. Yeah, buying vintage watches, reselling them for higher prices and things
Oh
like
yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, fun
yeah.
stuff, fun
Cool.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they had this community at Makati
Mm.
Cinema Square.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
familiar with that. Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Well, that's great. Now that we know a bit more about that side of your life. Yeah. Well, going back to the world of VO. Now, this
Mhm.
is a big one. This is a really big one. If you hypothetically became president of the world of voiceover, assuming there's such a thing, what would be your
Ooh.
first order of business?
Okay. Uh, let's see. Um, Gosh, that is a bit of a tough one. Yeah. That kind of position is not necessarily something I personally seek.
Right.
I'm always open to collaborating with people and more than telling them what to do. Yeah,
Yes.
that's more my thing. I'm more of in radio, what they would call more of a reactor than a generator.
Got
Instead of
it.
generating the ideas, I'm more of the guy, the person who,
Bounce off of them.
yeah, 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 who likes to
Yeah.
bounce off of people's ideas. But if that hypothetical happened, I guess I'm gonna segue to a bit of a serious on a serious note here. I would probably push for the seriously, I would seriously push for the unionization of our
Wow.
industry, of the voiceover industry, for the protection of everybody. I'm sure some people may have heard about the current Writers Guild of America strike that's
Oh,
going on because they could not reach an acceptable agreement for the profit sharing that they were demanding from the streaming platforms such as
oh man.
Netflix,
Yeah.
Amazon, YouTube, and everybody else in the business. That
Right.
they felt you're not. Of course, I think it's obvious without reading the details that they felt they're not paying enough.
Right.
If they were getting paid enough, they'd immediately sign that, and everybody would be happy. But in their goal of protecting their members, the writers have gone on strike. So that is actually affecting a lot of shows and movies in the pipeline. Meaning, because those people, like in unions like that, they're very serious
Right.
about it. And this is not the first time the Writers Guild of America has gone on strike. They go on strike, all the shows stop, live programming
That's true.
stops, all the production halts. Nobody goes to work. Then they'd have to, you'd have to rely on whatever it is that you saved up on. So I'd like that similar kind of protection, not necessarily so we can try to charge more. I'm always my goal would always be towards everybody getting a fair shake, so to speak, meaning
Right. Right.
meaning being paid fair rates, and
Yeah.
at
Just
this and
barely
being protected from people,
protected. Yeah.
or from clients that don't pay, who try to get a freebie from you, and
That's
literally
true.
and to borrow a term from today's generation, they ghost you. It's
Ah.
like, hi, I'd like to
Ooh.
follow up. You're tapping away in front. I'd like to follow up my payment. Scene.
Yeah.
You don't hear
Oh,
anything
that is the
again,
worst.
or
That is the worst.
worse, blocked.
Oh,
The
that
ultimate burn in
hasn't
business.
happened to me yet,
Block.
thankfully.
Thankfully,
No,
it
no,
hasn't, but
yeah.
I've had my fair share.
Wow.
In a business like we are, because when you're in voiceover, you're running your own business, you're your own product, and at the same time, you're your own boss.
You
Any
get all the
business is
liability.
yes,
Yeah.
the liabilities include having bad debts, meaning
True.
receivables, money that's owed you that you never see. I mean, I've got debts from
Ooh.
bad debts from the 90s and the early
Wow.
2000s, and just I'm not gonna go in. I'm not gonna say any go into any details. Yeah, there is someone I'm trying to collect from, and this
Ooh.
person is trying to make it appear like, oh, my accountant. Literally, this is the kind of thing you might hear stories about or see in the movies. My
Yeah, yeah.
accountant ran away with the money and left me with nothing, including your payment. That's what I was told. It's like, are you serious? You're gonna use that on me? Because I was saying, because I told the person, you know what, this is taking too long. Because at first the person was saying, oh, I haven't received it yet, but we're
Ah.
still hoping next month I'll give you another update. Smiley face. So okay, then I said, okay, you know what? I did this project over 2 years ago, and it's overdue. The payment is overdue. So I'm gonna write that agency we did the work for. This was just a producer, an independent producer, a freelance producer who didn't work for the agency, who contracted me for the job, for the commercial. I'm gonna send them a demand letter. I consulted people like our very good friend Robbie about it. Yeah, send a demand letter. That's the way business works.
Right.
So I told the person, I'm going to send a demand letter. Oh, you know what? No, no, no. You don't need to do that. Okay, I'll be honest. My accountant stole the money, but I'll try to find a way to get you paid. Come on. So it's for reasons
Ah.
like that I believe we should unionize so we can protect ourselves, to protect ourselves from from things happening like that in the course of business. Meaning that, I mean, there's the risk before, I think, when there were efforts to unionize the voiceover business, even before the year 2000, it didn't fly because I think I just heard these are secondhand, third-hand stories, things that I just heard that, oh, the
Right.
agencies were threatening to, okay, we just won't hire any of you people. The studios were going, we won't hire any of you people. And I wish we were in a position of strength to say, okay, none of us are going to work for you then, if you don't agree to be fair with us. So there, you know, and
That
that's all
that
I'm
would be
aiming
mind
for.
blowing.
That's
Yeah.
all I would aim for. That not necessarily, oh, so we can get, six figures for every job and just do, you do one job a week, and hey, you can just goof off for the other 6 days of the week and go on
Right.
vacation for half the year if you want to. No, I'm not aiming for that. I want everybody. I want everybody to, be to for the
Just
creative
what's fair.
industry to just, the gears to constantly be turning, enough jobs for everyone. But at the same time, I just want to be able to protect what should be what's fair for all of us.
That is
Yeah, so that would be
noble.
my first order of business.
That would be,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, come on, be president of you already. Yeah, yeah, and you might actually get insurance. Yeah, and a retirement
Yeah,
plan,
yes,
right? Yeah, yeah,
those
yeah,
things,
yeah.
yeah. Because
Yeah,
that's part of being a freelancer is awesome. The not having to report to an office, not having to report to a boss, but at the same time, it comes with that
yes,
level of risk. So
it
you got to
does,
be
it
aware of
does.
those things. Yeah.
Yeah, Louise
Mhm.
says, "Zan for president."
No, no, trust me, there are
Uh,
better there are better people suitable for the job.
uh
Yeah.
well. We've touched on this earlier, but we might as well go back to it, and we're gonna close with this question. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Let's say that you were born. Zan Yu was born in the year 2000. And you somehow meet this 23-year-old Zan Yu today, and he's so excited about getting into voice acting. Except, he's got like 2000s onward info downloaded
Uh-huh.
into his brain. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
what would you tell this younger version of yourself?
Whoa. think I might be scared of this punk because he was born. He would have been. That means he would have been born in the age of the internet.
Yeah,
He's got his
TikToking Dan.
yeah. He'd be embarrassing me. He'd be TikToking and everything. He'd be on the street doing silly dances. His face constantly inside his phone and waving to his followers and all that. We kind of touch, we know, with our role play with you,
Right.
playing younger me.
Uh,
I would try to give the same advice if I could. I'll try and probably tell him, hey, cut down on the use of the phone. It's not healthy for you.
ooh.
My wife has always reminded me, you know what, you have an addictive personality. So
So addictive, in fact, that he has disappeared from the podcast. And therefore, I will be speaking to the voice of Zanyu. I would like you guys to imagine his voice. Can you hear his voice lingering? This is how we stall, guys. And just hear his voice. And okay, I'm gonna do a bit of summoning here. I summon the voice of Zanyu. Oh, it worked. Oh,
man, if I just had
wow.
some smoke here, that would have been
Yeah.
that would have been cool. Poof.
Yeah.
I was wondering, okay, Dave is really holding on to that expression a little too long. Then I see, okay, I've got no signal with our streaming
Ah,
platform. Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, I thought I was gonna get away with that not happening to me. But
Yeah.
hey folks,
That,
that's live TV for
that
you.
that's live TV for you. Yeah. Still
This
worth
is
listening
what
to.
live TV. Yeah, we're lucky we have
Yes.
power. Some
So
people
going
lose
back.
power. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So where
To
was I before I was
yes.
rudely
Like
interrupted?
you got this addictive personality.
Yeah, yeah. So I would probably try to give 23-year-old me some advice to lay off that stuff and to not be such a workaholic. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
That's also being an addictive personality. Having that kind of personality, I have to admit I can get very addicted to the work, especially
Yeah.
since I
Yeah.
love what we do. It
That's
can be
true.
hard. It can be hella tiring when there's a lot of it, and we often tell each other, we comfort each other, or we kid each other by saying, having a lot of projects is a problem I'd like to have. Not knowing how to
Yeah.
schedule 20 dubbing projects in 1 week is the problem I'd like to have, because I know people who every day they go to like 3 sessions a day, and I
Yep.
have no idea how those how those folks keep up. Yeah,
Whew.
you keep it up, but they do. They manage, and I'm in awe. I'm in
Somehow.
awe. I'm in awe of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd probably tell myself, slow down a little. Pay attention to the loved ones and everything. Pay attention to the family, and pay attention to your health. Okay, don't make it difficult for me.
Yeah.
Don't make
Love that.
don't make it losing the love handles difficult for me.
Oh,
That problem
uh,
spot. Okay. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
felt that. I felt that.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
goodness.
Okay. Pants are a little tight
Yeah.
this month. Yeah.
Oh, gotta buy a
That's
new
got
pair
yeah. Cut
now.
off. Yeah. You either buy a new pair, bigger size, or yeah, you lay off the rice or something like that.
Lay off the rice. Yeah.
The extra rice.
Gotcha. Well, that was the last question. So we
Oh,
are now
okay.
gonna move on to our Q&A questions. All right. So we got a couple
Alrighty.
here. And
Mhm.
this one's from Luis. Like, what is or are your favorite Grail watches? And do you own any of them?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm still. I think I'm not necessarily gonna have um a unique take on that. At least I have not found a unique Grail watch that a lot of people don't know about or aren't into. I'm
Right.
still aiming for I don't know. I'm torn between the two, either a Rolex Submariner
Ah,
or a Rolex GMT Master 2. Yeah. I'm
those
still
are
although my
classics.
wallet would beg to my
Ah,
bank account would beg to
yeah,
differ, yeah, and would be happy
yeah.
with if you want to push it, okay, maybe any Rolex
Okay,
will do at this point.
let's say if money were no object.
Oh, if money were no object.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't kept up lately with the versions and with the kind of precious metals that the case and the bracelet. Sometimes it's not just steel; they use white gold or platinum and things like that. But if money were no object, yeah. Oh, if money were no object. Okay, I'd probably move past the Rolex. Uh, a Patek Philippe.
Yeah, a railroad.
Yeah, would be nice.
Yeah. No,
The
that would be
watch you
great.
the watch you don't own, you just hold on to it you keep it for the next generation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's how they market it. You don't
yeah, a
ever own a
Nautilus. Yeah,
Patek.
you never own.
A
Oh yeah,
Patek.
there you go. That's it. You never
Yeah.
actually own a Patek. You just keep it for the next generation. Like, hey, yeah,
They're right about that though, because you got to keep paying for it in installments.
yeah, that don't end.
Oh,
Yeah,
really clever
you
way.
gotta get a second mortgage on your house and stuff like that just to pay it off and
Yeah,
sell a kidney.
exactly. Yeah. For
Yeah,
me,
so Patek Nautilus would be
Patek
nice.
Nautilus. Oh goodness,
Yeah.
yeah. I would squeeze it in. Just me personally, like a JJ Le Coux Reverso.
Ooh.
You
Oh
know,
yes, very
you
classy.
can flip
Yes,
them
reverso.
around.
Yeah, yeah,
They're beautiful. Like if money
yes,
were no,
absolutely.
just gorgeous.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, like the watch you
Nice.
like kind of says a lot about your personality. I like the weird thing that no one's gonna pick. Yeah, awesome. Well,
So
let's go
yeah.
to this one from Leandro Antonio, and says here,
Okay.
Coach Dan or Coach A can answer this too,
Mhm.
since this is subjective. How much should the capital be in total for the equipment for starting out? Okay, you want
Oh,
to take this
okay.
first?
We often we try to be we kind of try to be careful with this type of
Yes.
with the
Yes.
answer for this, because it always pushes us back into the debate of, should the equipment come first or the training come first?
That is
Yeah,
true.
because we try to not necessarily discourage people from just announcing, "Hey, I'm a voiceover, hire me." No, we don't necessarily want to discourage you. Yeah, fantastic, but we want to encourage people to try to get some training so they have an idea, a better idea of how to become the
Yes.
best possible voice actor
Yes.
that they can be. But specifically with the amount of capital, um, I would say it has to be an amount that you're prepared to lose,
Yep.
because let's face the reality. Okay, a little, just maybe once in a while we'll throw in some tough love here and say, what if you realize, okay, I don't want to go through all this training. I don't like it that I don't like having to audition.
Right.
I want to just be hired, period, today. And that might not happen for you, where you realize, um, these clients, they keep asking for 3, 4, 5 revisions, or they keep asking me to do it over and over again. I'm sick of uh, doing this job. I don't want to do it anymore. So it should be an amount that you're prepared to lose. But that's why it's hard to put an exact amount to say, like, oh, you need at least
Right.
5,000, you need at least
Right.
10,000, because there is practically an infinite array of choices
That's
for
true.
the microphone alone that you
That is
could
true.
start with. Even though they say, oh, start with a
Yeah.
dynamic mic, start with a condenser mic, and start with a USB mic, and you'll get even more confused about it. So these can be very specific topics. So um, I
That's
I
true.
honestly don't have a specific amount or figure in mind, and I'm sorry I couldn't
Right.
be helpful in that way.
So I think it's more of a like it depends on your situation and let me
Mm,
get to know your situation better.
there you go.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there
So
you
and
go.
that's why we get
Nice.
Coach San as a coach. Yeah. Yeah, but that is true. That is a solid stance to not let go of an arbitrary number just because, right?
Mhm.
But I guess I'll chime in here. If I could just, if I were like to start out, assuming, given how good USB microphones have gotten, like since, I got my first USB mic back in 2012, and the technology has just improved so much, and their USB tech is so much more accessible. So, like me
Mhm.
personally, I would get like a USB dynamic mic starting out because you have less room reverb problems to worry
Right.
about, less noise, essentially a pretty good frequency response. A lot of people will say that, and this was my stance, that I stood by condensers firmly at the start, but then I tried experimenting once in a while, like switching to my
Yeah.
SM7B and different
Yep.
dynamics, and
I've
like yeah,
done the
just to see
same.
how,
Been there.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
clients just, they would never mention like, okay, did you switch to a dynamic mic?
Yeah.
That's ugh.
None of
Ugh.
them. None of them never noticed that. Yeah.
Never happens. And I have seen studios use dynamic mics.
Hmm.
So, it's not something to rule out. There are benefits to using that. So
Hmm.
if it were, like ultra lowest budget starting out would be between 2.5 to 3.5, if you were to ask me.
Yeah. There you
Um
go.
and and just with the mindset that you would be using that microphone, that initial USB mic, to get you your first couple of projects and then upgrade.
Hmm.
A USB mic is the best mic to get you to your next mic.
Yeah. So
So
take your earnings and reinvest it
immediately,
into
like
your business. Yeah.
immediately, because
Yeah.
I
That's the way
always,
to go.
yeah, I had like equipment anxiety in a sense that like I always like for freeze, like, is this USB mic good enough? It would
Yeah.
always,
I think we all go through
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, it
Yeah, I
kept
would
me
too.
from
It's like,
auditioning.
oh
Yeah.
man, it's like I wish I had that Neumann U87,
Yeah, I felt that.
which costs
Yeah.
$3,000 US.
Uh,
Yeah, but
yeah.
I'll be honest enough to say when I first decided that I was gonna uh, do the home studio thing and try to do voiceovers from home, my budget was around 25,000 pesos. This was back in 2008, and the advice I got from our friend tech guru, our one of our Manila-based tech guru, voiceover tech gurus, Mr. Henry Bolo. He
Yes.
advised me, okay, you can start out with a Rode and the Rode NT1A,
Yes.
and
Yes.
start with that. So yeah, he was yeah, go condenser. He was also very much giving that kind of advice. And you can start with an MBox 2 Mini, and that comes with
Right.
Pro Tools already. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
bought I ordered that stuff, set it up, and one of the first things I discovered, wow, I can hear all the echoing in this room.
I feel you.
I can
Yeah.
hear I can hear my neighbors talking outside.
Yeah.
I can hear is that a tricycle? Is that a motorcycle? Who's yelling outside? Things you wouldn't normally hear, but the microphone here apparently hears a condenser mic hears better than you do. And
Yeah.
so you learn. I had to learn so many things along the way. Okay, so this is the problem. And I also went the route of experimenting with a dynamic mic. I got a Shure SM50, SM, hold on,
58.
SM58. Yes, an
Yeah.
SM58. Yeah, clients had
It's
no idea.
classic.
Well,
It's just a
yeah,
balanced
yeah.
sound. Yeah.
Okay. No reverb. Yeah, it was you just had to give it enough juice to pick up your voice, and as long as you deliver the lines properly and cleanly, yeah,
Okay.
it worked. And as you were mentioning, yeah, even a lot of professional studios uh, still would use a dynamic mic if it works in their environment, in their
Right.
studio environment. Like I did some commercial work wherein we used that very mic, the SM7B, and I had an opportunity to listen to it because it sounded great to me in excuse
Yes.
me, it sounded great to me in the studio, and the finished product was crystal clear. I would not have
Yeah.
known that it could either have been a Neumann U87, a TLM 103, or an SM7B. I
I
would
feel
not have
you.
known there.
Nah, gotcha, for sure. I feel you. And just a bit of trivia for everyone, like, a character of dynamic mics is that, they take transients like a champ. What's a transient? A transient is like a sudden bam sound, and it kind of
Hmm.
squishes it a bit with the way that it's built, and so your final audio tends to be a little bit more compressed, so to speak. So the waveforms are less, all over the place. So that's one advantage for having it. As a character guy, sometimes I like that because my clients sometimes don't like the output of waveforms going up and down. So again,
Right.
there are some considerations there, like the kind of engineers that you're going to be working with, all those things. But
Hmm.
yes, I just want to check, Coach Zan, if you still had like maybe 5 to 10 more minutes because we are in overtime right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Okay, excellent. Well, let's add this
let's go for it.
question. And this is
Yeah.
from Koenig Vaughn. And he's asking, do you have any recommendations of what to look for to make sure the type of training or maybe even the people you choose to train you is right for you?
Oh wow! How what an
I
awesome
love
question.
it. Is an
You're
awesome
I
question.
think you're asking the right people because yeah, one of the features that we have on our voice coaching voice actor voiceover coaching website, voice actors at home .ph, is that you can make a free, let me emphasize, free discovery call for the coach of your choice to find out if they can give you the right kind of training if you're going to be a fit. And I've had a discovery call wherein I realized I might not be able to give the best kind of coaching. I can give you some coaching for because this person was more interested in dubbing, but I was
Right.
thinking, I think coach that's more Coach Ryan or Coach Arene's up their alley. So I said, maybe I think it would be great for you if you check out their programs, their training programs.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how
Yeah.
you find out. And in general, not just because we're promoting our website and our services. Uh, yeah, you gotta vet, so to speak, VET. You gotta vet and check the kind of people, the track record. Try to get reviews, get advice. Try to get reviews if you can, or find out the reputation of the kind of say from the website that you're trying to thinking of booking training from, and the kind of feedback people have, especially since if say if they're on Facebook, at the very
Right.
least read the comments. If there's a stray negative comment there, try to
Right.
find out if someone's just being a troll or saying honestly, hey, this this training wasn't as advertised. So
That's
try
true.
to do your research. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And a big part of coaching is compatibility. That's true because
Yeah.
uh not every coach, even if they have the right credentials, even if they've got a great reputation, the moment that you work with them, they have a certain style that doesn't work for you. That's true. It happens.
Yeah.
Happens even to me. Like, this coach is supposed to be reputable, but there's just something off. Like, there's something that like we had different wavelengths.
Yeah.
Like they would say that they disagree with a certain direction, that they think this is better. To a degree, I wouldn't simply just trust every single coach that I work with. So even then, like I know some people, they would try one coach, then move to the next. And that's why we do have the free discovery call system. 15 minutes free for each coach for the first call. Right.
All right.
So I hope that answers the question. There was another one, and I think this had to do with microphones as well. Um, it kept being suggested by one of the core members in here. Supposedly Luis, but apparently Luis clarified it was Jen de la Cruz, and he just agreed.
Okay.
The Lewitt Pure 440 Pure, which is dynamic, because he said that would fit my voice. Okay. I think that's
Hmm.
more of a statement than a question.
Okay, awesome. I personally have no experience or much knowledge to share as far as this microphone, the Lewitt 440, is concerned. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to remember if Luis talked about having this particular mic. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I haven't owned it myself, but it is something that you can even talk to Luis about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's the tough part as well about buying deciding then buying a microphone, because
Right.
uh, it's never a one size fits all
That's true.
consideration for
Right.
microphones. One type of microphone works for a certain type of voice,
Yes.
and there are, of course, infinite range of types of voices. There are
Right.
general ones. Okay, there are higher pitch, there's mid range, and then there's the low end sounding voices, the baritone or the bass sounding voices. And there are certain microphones that work better with a particular type of voice. I mean, like I know of someone who bought like the microphone I'm using right now,
Right.
The Sennheiser MKH 416, which is doing its job because it's meant to be out of the picture instead of being here in front of
Right.
me.
Yep.
So that's its job, because it's a shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's meant to be a shotgun. Originally, it's a shotgun boom mic that they use
For
to
film.
pick up dialogue for film, and it's supposed to
Yeah.
be not seen. Or once in a while you see it in a movie. Whoops! It pokes its nose from above. It's like, whoops. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Exactly.
we didn't notice that. We got to keep that. Uh,
Sure.
Hopefully, no one notices it, but yeah, people always do. Um,
Yeah.
so this works for me, and I know of someone who realized, because first of all, this is not a cheap microphone. Let's be
Right.
honest there. This goes, the average price SRP is it's 1,000 US dollars. So
About
that's about
50.
55, yeah, 50 to
55.
55,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I plunked down the money over 6 payments. Yeah, I could
Oh.
at the time
Whew.
I wasn't willing to pay for it in one go. It's like, can I
Right.
get this in installment? Yeah, yeah. The store was happy enough to say, oh yeah, sure, no problem. Okay. Um,
Great.
and it works for me. I love the way my voice works with it. And this other
Right.
person, who's also one of the most a very in demand voiceover, has a very different sounding voice than I has a higher pitch than I do.
Right.
Uh, Decided, okay, I'll get this. I think I'll try the same thing. Get the same microphone, and he was not happy with it.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
there, he was not. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And just to add to that, like,
Mhm.
there is absolutely a subjectivity and like a compatibility concern when with working with a
Mhm.
microphone because sometimes I might have more nasality, so I need a mic that kind of
Yeah.
squishes that and things like that. But for beginners, just for beginners, like when starting out, it would be good to look for microphones that have objectively good specs. Like a relatively flat frequency spectrum, so it doesn't change your voice
Mhm.
too much,
Yeah.
has not a lot of self noise, has a high max SPL, so you can just keep raising your voice without breaking it
Yeah.
because
You
there
can
are
yell into it.
you
Yeah.
can yell into it. So there are objective specs to look for in a mic, just to make sure that like if you're just starting out and you can't like do mic taste testing,
Yeah.
right? That would be cool though. Like go to a buffet of microphones and just test out every one of them.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the videos of, yeah, of them
Yeah.
doing that in studios. Like,
They're
man,
like, ah.
I wish I could be the voice actor doing that in the studio. That must
Yeah.
have been, yeah, that looks like a lot of fun to do. It's like, oh, this is what this is what this sounds like.
Yeah, exactly. Rode Neumann, if you were listening,
Yeah,
Sennheiser,
yeah,
Coach
yeah,
San right here, and there's this
mhm,
guy over here, pick me. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
it's still helpful to watch and listen and carefully do some critical listening when but there are a lot of popular YouTubers out there who do
Yes.
regular mic shootouts, like um, Boost Junkie, Mike
Yes.
Delgadio, and of course Bandrew from Podcastage. Yeah,
Exactly.
one of the who does very entertaining microphone reviews. Yeah, so there you
Exactly.
go. So
True.
and so of course you have to take his word for it when he says, I would, like, for example, if Bandrew says, I recommend this mic for voiceover, spoken word. There, that's the word. That's the phrase he uses. This is good for spoken word. Not so good on the guitar. Not so good for
Right.
gaming because it picks up way too much noise. It's a little too high on the treble and all that. Loses
Exactly.
mids, but it's good for spoken word. But then you have to take his word for it that it works. That he thinks it's okay for his voice. So you'd have to have a
Exactly.
similar sounding voice to him,
Right.
but it's a good
Cut.
way to get an idea because he does he when he gets a when he reviews a mic, he never reviews it in a vacuum. He always compares it to a similarly priced mic on the market,
Right. Right.
or go to the gold standard, to a U87.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that's what he would compare it to, because the U87, and the funny thing is, whether if especially if you've never worked with one, once you get to become more familiar with the way certain microphones make your how they work with your voice, how they make it sound,
Right.
you'll be you'll be pleasantly surprised that the U87 doesn't magically make you sound great.
Nah.
It
Nah.
actually makes you sound just the way you
You
naturally
are.
are.
Yeah.
It doesn't add any highs, doesn't brighten your voice. It doesn't give any uh bass like a Beats by Dr. Dre
Yeah.
effect. Yes, there you go.
Yeah, mixed
Yeah.
feelings about it. That's why I'm putting it away. Like, put you aside for now. Yeah. Yeah. Greetings, Earthlings. Welcome to another pretty I'd like to think that was pretty close.
Yeah, very close. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it was yeah, impromptu. But
Yeah, they
anyhow,
just gotta then when you get the box, you just
yeah,
toss it in the back.
toss the box in
Yeah.
the back.
Yeah, if you ever watch Podcastage, that's what
Yes,
he
sir.
always does. Like, it comes with a box.
It comes with a box.
That's
Sorry, I just
every
had to do it.
time. Yeah,
Okay.
every time.
So,
That's what he does. That's
yeah,
one of the fun things about
it's one of
the
the fun
guy.
things.
Yeah.
Yes. Um, so we will take this last question from Coach
All right.
Irene.
Awesome.
And her question
Oh,
is,
hey, Coach A.
yes, Coach A, what rattles is on you in dubbing? What are you afraid of, Coach
What am
Sam?
I afraid of? Um, aside from what I think I'm in the middle of a really good take and I'm hitting all my marks on the syncing and dubbing. The
Right.
the script is perfect, and all I have to do is perform, and then suddenly something gets stuck in my throat, or you run out of air. There,
Yeah,
I forget that I needed an extra breath for something.
I feel
You
that.
know, but
Yeah.
seriously aside, kidding aside, uh not necessarily, I guess, that I get rattled or I'm afraid of it. um it gets my adrenaline going when I've got a director who's listening critically and carefully, and who knows
Ooh.
how to tell me, no, that's not it, a little more energy, or too much energy. Look at him, he's quiet, he's whispering, you know. Yeah.
Right.
So that's the jolt of being of some adrenaline, and being on my toes. Yeah, yeah, rattles me like, okay, okay, okay. Or I've done the fifth take already and I'm not getting it. That can
Right.
throw me off. Yeah,
I getcha. I getcha. Yeah. Sometimes like your brain just kind of stops working and you can't somehow do the take for some reason.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, thank you, Coach Zan. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you for engaging and leaving all these comments and joining us in all the fun, because we are a community of voice actors. And again, our goal is to help as many voice actors as we can go full time by 2025. And, if you guys would like to get into that, first thing I'd like to suggest, join the Vocal Alliance via workouts. I believe there is one this
This
Saturday.
this Saturday, yeah, I was surprised.
I
Like, whoa, hey,
yeah,
awesome, fantastic! There's going to be
yeah.
one this Saturday,
Check
10 in the morning. Yeah.
Yes, check that out. And I am
Mhm.
now going to say it as well. We will also be having a script read for voice actors at home PH. And Luis, I'm going to mention this now to put us on the spot that we got to get it going. May 26th, that's a Saturday. We will be having a free script read as well. So look forward to it. All right,
Awesome.
Coach
Yeah.
San, this has been awesome. So great to have you
Hey, Coach Dave.
on the
It's
show.
it's my
Yeah.
pleasure. Only happy to be here to finally be able to
Yes.
jump in into our podcast. So much
Yes.
fun. Absolutely.
So
I've had the
much
best
fun.
time.
Yeah, this is great. We should get some rest, right? All
Yes,
right.
like I like it. Like I
Yes,
say, yes. Make sure you get enough. Make sure you get enough rest. Yeah,
absolutely. Well,
yeah.
good night,
Your voice
everyone.
will thank you for it. Yep.
Yes.
Thanks,
Take
everyone.
care.
Good
Have a
night.
great rest of the evening. Take care.